I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. At Tuesday's Senate Rules Committee hearing, Senator Ted Cruz grilled FEC Commissioner nominee Dara Lindenbaum about the 2018 Georgia governor's race. Cruz pressed Lindenbaum about when Stacey Abrams conceded the race and about her work for Stacey Abrams as an election lawyer. Cruz is questioning centered around Lindenbaum's role in her campaign and whether Abrams' actions following the election undermined faith in democracy. Take a look at the Republican senator's questioning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Lindenbaum, welcome.
Thank you.
There have been consistent concerns about public confidence in the security of our elections. Do you agree that those concerns are legitimate?
I think many of the concerns are legitimate.
Do you think that criticizing an election as stolen or otherwise invalid undermines the public faith in the democratic process?
Well, I should say first, Senator, that these matters, the election security matters, are outside the purview of the Federal Election Commission, which is solely focused on campaign finance issues and not the issues of election administration, the machines, or what have you.
Okay, with that caveat, let me ask the question again. Do you think that criticizing an election as stolen undermines faith in the democratic process?
I think it can. I think it depends on the context involved.
Who won the 2018 Georgia governor's race?
Brian Kemp.
Did his opponent, Stacey Abrams, concede the 2018 gubernatorial election?
Yes.
When?
I believe it was 9 days after she gave a speech where she acknowledged that Brian Kemp won the election, and she said that her assessment was that the law currently allowed no further viable remedy, and she said she could keep the contest going, but didn't want to hold public office if it meant scheming her way into the post. So during that speech, she said that the election was over and acknowledged that she did not win.
Okay, I guess I'm a little bit puzzled by that answer, because you said she conceded 9 days after the election, but you filed a complaint in federal court on behalf of Stacey Abrams on November 28th, which was 10 days afterwards. In the complaint, you sought to permanently enjoin the Secretary of State and the State Election Board and declare Georgia's election process unconstitutional and in violation of federal law. Is that right?
Well, again, Senator, I do need to say that any of these matters fall outside the purview of the Federal Election Commission. I would also say that that's not actually what the case did. It was not on behalf of Stacey Abrams. It was on behalf of Ebenezer Church, which is a historic church in Georgia, a number of AME churches, and Fair Fight Action and Karen Action. Stacey Abrams is not an individual plaintiff in that case.
Okay, but you were seeking an election victory for her, and in fact, as part of the complaint, you argued that Georgia's electronic voting machines were, quote, insecure and unreliable. Is that correct?
That was an argument, and then the next year, and in the 2020 election, the machines were changed. So those machines in 2018 were DRE machines with no paper trail. In 2019, the end of 2019, Georgia purchased new machines, and the 2020 machines were optical scan machines with a paper trail.
The complaint you filed argued that the machines in 2018 actually switched votes for Abrams to votes for Kemp. Is that correct?
The complaint, I believe, had those allegations in it. And those allegations were all based on affidavits and other stories from voters. The other thing I need to say, Senator, and I understand going down this line, is that case is in very active litigation. It goes to trial actually on Monday. So I am very, very much limited in what I can say about it. Talking about what was or is not in the complaint is one thing, but it would not be appropriate for me to go too far into this case.
So, but as an officer of the court, you were willing to put your name on a legal pleading alleging that the machines used in Georgia in 2018 were switching votes illegally from one candidate to another. Is that correct?
Yes.
The FEC requires a majority to undertake substantive action in policymaking, and at present, it's 3-3. When the FEC is sued, it must vote to defend itself. But the Democrats have begun consistently voting against the FEC doing its job, resulting in deadlocked votes, no-shows in court, and default judgments. Since 2020, the FEC has defaulted in court 9 times. One case didn't have a vote at all, but in the remaining 8 cases, the no-show default was because the Democratic members voted not to defend. The FEC not showing up and defending itself is troubling. Will you vote for the FEC to defend itself in suits?
Yes.
And you're committing to this committee that you will not participate in a blocking, a party line blocking of the FEC showing up and defending itself in suits?
I am committed, and I believe that it is important for an agency to defend itself in court. I think it does a number of things, including establishing a record. I cannot say definitively that there would be no possible way for that to change. I can't foresee one sitting here today, but I don't want to make that promise to you here in the event that there is something that is completely outside the realm that I don't know about, not being in the agency at the moment.
Thank you.